My two words are thank you. Thank you for everyone here at the lake and at the chateau for your support and your love. I couldn't have done it without you. Every morning I would get a card, candy, or something on my door. It just meant the world to me. I felt I wasn't alone. And Lee suffered a lot, and it was really hard, but I know he's in a better place because he wasn't wanting to live like that.
No.
That was not his lifestyle. But all of you have been so wonderful to me and to Lee, and I so appreciate all your love and your concern, and the fact that you came today. And I have Rick here from Houston. Yeah, Houston. And Jonas is from Chico, and Tommy is from Temecula. When I talked to Tommy on the phone that Lee was dying, Tommy was here in 15 minutes. I don't know how he did that from Temecula, but he must have flown. So I've had so much wonderful support. I don't know if I miss him yet. I keep thinking he's on a trip, and he's going to be home soon. He helped me when my daughter was dying of a brain tumor, and that's how I met him. And he helped me through that phase of my life. So I will always wish I'd met him sooner because we both had the same thing in common. We both like to ride horses, and we both like to ski. But you know what? God brought him to me at the right time. He got to know my daughter, and I have her ring, and that's all I need. Her husband, JJ, has sent his wishes and his thoughts to me every day because he loved Lee, and Lee helped him a lot. And it just all takes my breath away. It really does, to see everyone here that knew Lee and wanted to be here to be with him on his last hurrah. We love parties. That's why we built that house on the lake, so we could have parties. But it got too much for me. But so that's why I love the chateau. This place is the yacht club, everybody. We have so many great parties. I love the staff here. Katrina couldn't be here today, but she would get Lee on his scooter into the bus so we can go places. She took such good care of him, and he could really enjoy life. And that's what it's all about, enjoying life. And I have just two little things to read. One is, it's the friends we meet along life's road who help us appreciate the journey. And you're my friends. And this, I loved his father. His father's name is Red, and I have a picture board over here. And Red lived to be 100 years old. We were at his, and he's a picture on the program of Fred. We had a 100-year birthday for him up in Oregon. And what a smart man. And I know this is where Lee got his smartness. I think Jonas, didn't he go to college or high school, finish his high school diploma at 68 or something like that? He went to high school, finished his diploma at 68 years old because he had to work. That's what they did in those days. When you have no money, you work. But he also was a writer. He was a songwriter. He played the guitar. He lived in a community like this, and they loved him because here's a man at 100 years old. And he could play the guitar, and he could sing, and he could entertain the ladies. And one instance, he was up in Florence, Oregon, and we sat down. We came in to have breakfast with him. We sat down. Red was in the middle. I was on one side. Well, then a lady comes and taps me on the shoulder and says, "You're in my seat." Oh. So I move over. And then another lady taps Lee on the seat and says, "You're in my seat." He moves over. Well, these ladies we had to sit at another table. He had all these ladies that he was the king. And when we take him out of the facility, not a facility, it's a place. Anyway, we'd take him out to go traveling. Elvira was his girlfriend, and she'd stand there and she says, now when are you bringing him back? Oh, we're gonna bring him back. We're not taking him. But anyway, his dad, I loved his dad. His dad was so much fun. And his dad also was a writer. He wrote songs, he played the guitar, and unfortunately, a lot of those songs and his music were stolen out of his apartment. So, like Lee said, they're all lost forever. But here's a poem I found when I was going through some of Lee's stuff. It says, take time to think, it is the source of power. Take time to play, it is the secret of a perpetual youth. Take time to read, it is the fountain of wisdom. Take time to pray, it is the greatest power on earth. Take time to love and be loved. It is God's given privilege. Take time to be friendly. It is the road to happiness. Take time to laugh. It is the music of the soul. Take time to give. It is too short a day to be selfish. Take time to work. It is the price of success. Take time to do charity. It is the key to heaven. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for all your support you've given me, all the nice cards on my door and all your love. And I'm so glad that you got to know Lee. We probably moved too late. Everybody says you have to move in. Oh, we're not ready. Well, we were ready, and I'm sorry we didn't come a year earlier when Lee was really in his prime. But you did get to know him, and he loved to go to the breakfast with the Democratic group. He was their token Republican. So we had such a fun, I never went to breakfast, I don't get up that early. But he had such a fun time with your group there, Michael. I see you guys in the back there. Yeah, he loved you all. But he loved having breakfast with all of you and all your friendship and your sweetness. And Al here back there, he's one of the survivors. He did the same operation that Lee did, and he made it. He called me right after Lee's operation and said, how did it go? And I go, Al, I don't know if I could really recommend this procedure. But he carried through and did it, and here he is with us. So we all love you. I couldn't live anywhere besides Lake San Marcos because this is home. This is really home. I'm not moving. People say, "Oh, you're moving?" No, I'm not moving. I'm here, and so I'm really glad, and I'll become more involved. I was a little preoccupied taking care of Lee, but I'll get back in the saddle again, as the saying goes, and. Anyway, Lee was really fun, and we had a great time, and I was doing this picture board last night, and it made me sad, because that was him when we were really having a good time, and I like good times, and it was so sad when he started to decline, and I didn't expect that in my life. I don't know what I was expecting. I think we were all just going to go over a bridge or something. But anyway, I saw him through all this, and I want to thank Pat DeLeon is here with Apria Home Hospice. They were wonderful, and I can shout to the ceilings about hospice. And Apria was wonderful, and Pat, and I have to say also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on, but MJ is our nurse at our church. She helped me from day one. She was on the phone with me from day one, and she's in Florida, which means that's why she can't be here. But anyway, MJ was such a treasure to me to know what to do, as well as my sister-in-law, Karen. Yeah. She lost my brother 7 years ago. 2 years ago? It seems like 7. But anyway, he was sick a long time. But anyway, so Karen, you've been a godsend to me. You really have. Thank you so much. I got to stay at her house when Lee was in the hospital because it's much closer to Scripps than San Marcos. My other companion here is Jane. Her husband, Nick, he and Lee were best friends, and he passed away of cancer, and I do remember going to his service. And she's been with me. I called her the morning he died, and she was here in 15 minutes from Fallbrook. I don't know, between Tommy and Jane driving on the freeway, I think they were flying. Anyway, but you all have been just such a treat. Chris, Lee's nephew, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. And then Rick, who came from Dallas, Houston. It's all Texas, it's a big state. Anyway, so these are lifelong friends, and the Leaves just got on off a ship yesterday. They've been in the Panama Canal. And so they just drove down, they got off the ship and drove down here. And Jonas and Nani came from Chico, and all of you just came right around the block. So it's been really fun knowing all of you and having such a good times here. As that little flyer I put on the tables, and I did that for Dan because he told me last night he needed an article for the Quail Call. So I was up at 12 typing, and those were all the activities that we had here at the lake, and we did call them the good old days because they don't do it now. And it's such a shame because that's why we're all here, because we all got to know each other. And I could talk forever, but I'm not. But I just want to thank you and thank God for taking care of Lee, for taking care of me. I did a lot of praying, and I really appreciated what God did for me by bringing you people into my life. Thank you so much.